We're going to continue on with the first Easter story and pick up where we left off in the Gospel of John from last week. This is John chapter 20, verses 11 through 18. And we're going to continue on with the Gospel of John and first Easter for the next few weeks. Remember, from last week, Mary Magdalene and several women went to Jesus' tomb, and this was very early on the first day of the week, and they discovered that the tomb was empty. And the first thought was someone has taken Jesus' body. Mary ran to tell Peter and the beloved disciple what they discovered. And then Peter and the other disciple ran to see the tomb for themselves. The beloved disciple, when he looked in and saw that the tomb was pretty much undisturbed, that the wrappings that Jesus was buried in pretty much undisturbed, he saw that and believed that Jesus was resurrected. Then those two, Peter and the other disciple, they went home. Mary stayed around the tomb, and then this happened. This incredibly happened. Easter is one incredible thing after another. But Mary stood weeping outside the tomb. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb, and she saw two angels in white, sitting where the body of Jesus had been lying, one at the head and the other at the feet. They said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there. But she did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" Supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Do not hold on to me, because I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her. Mary got it stuck in her head that someone had taken Jesus' body. And she couldn't think of it any other way, couldn't think of any other possibilities about it. When at first she and the other women first went to the tomb and saw that it was empty, first thought was someone had taken Jesus' body. When she saw the two angels there in the tomb, and they asked her, "Why are you weeping?" she said, "Well, someone's taken the Lord away, and I don't know where they laid him." Then when she saw Jesus, but didn't recognize that it was Jesus, and he asked why she's weeping, she said, she thought he was the gardener. He said, "If you've taken his body away, let me know. I'll go and take care of it." This points out that she deeply loved Jesus and wanted to continue to care for him even after his death. Also points out that Mary, as well as the other followers of Jesus, did not expect his resurrection. Not at all. His resurrection, Jesus' resurrection, total surprise to them. Then Mary recognized Jesus. And what caused her to recognize him? He called her name. And Mary Magdalene recognized Jesus, heard Jesus' voice, recognized Jesus' voice, and believed he was alive again, knew he was alive again. The beloved disciple came to believe in Jesus' resurrection when he saw Jesus' wrappings pretty much undisturbed, and he believed. He put two and two together, and it all made sense to him. He's alive again. Mary Magdalene came to believe his resurrection when she heard Jesus' voice. She knew his voice, she recognized it, she heard it, and believed. What makes me wonder how well do we hear Jesus' voice today? How well do we recognize Jesus' voice? You know, we have lots of voices around us, lots of people telling us this and saying that, day in and day out, nonstop yap. How well do we recognize Jesus' voice? Well, I want to give you a little quiz and see how you do. I've got 4 questions here, and this is it's either or on this. I'm going to give a voice and then another voice, and you tell me which one's Jesus. Okay? All right. Believe in yourself, or believe in God, believe also in me. Which one's Jesus? The second one, yes. Do unto others before they do unto you, or do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Second one, yes. I think you kind of see where this is going. I like easy tests because I want you all to get it. If it feels good, do it. Or deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. Yes. Then one more. Life is a highway, and I want to ride it all night long. Or I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Second one, yes. We want to always be able to hear Jesus' voice, recognize his voice, so we can follow him and keep following him. Then it looks like Mary gave Jesus a big hug and held on to him tight. Because Jesus said to her, "Don't hold on to me, I'm not yet ascended to the Father." Well, what is going on with that? The scholars over the years have speculated as to what Jesus meant by that, and we came across several speculations, but there was 3 that sounded good to me, and it could be one, or I think all 3 of these are legit meanings to what Jesus meant there. One is, don't try to keep me here. It's best that I go to the Father so the advocate can come, counselor, the helper, the paraclete. Jesus earlier told his followers about the counselor coming after him. Another meaning is, don't stand here holding on to me, but go and tell the others about me. And the third meaning is, don't cling to my past presence, because I'm going to be in always presence. So, I think all of those, and maybe more, there's more meaning to what Jesus means there with the hope, don't hold on to me. And finally, Jesus commissioned Mary Magdalene to proclaim his resurrection. Jesus called, the first person Jesus called to proclaim his resurrection was Mary Magdalene. Well, we wonder why he called her. You know, Peter and the beloved disciple was just there at the tomb. He could have appeared to them and, called them to go and tell the others. But he didn't. He called Mary. He appeared to her and called her to go tell the others. It's a curious choice because Mary Magdalene had a few strikes against her for being a reliable witness. But Jesus called her to be the first to proclaim his resurrection. One strike against her was that she was a woman. In those days, women were second-class citizens, and as far as being a witness, inferior to men. Using my imagination, I can picture something like this happening. Mary comes to the disciples and says, "Hey, I've seen the Lord. He's alive. I just saw him at the tomb." And the disciples going, "Shh, shh, 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 Mary, men talking here." But Jesus called her. Some people may have a problem with who we are, but Jesus doesn't. Some people may have a problem with women preaching, but Jesus doesn't. Second strike against Mary Magdalene as being a reliable witness was that she was from Magdala. And I've read in one of the commentaries that Magdala had a bad reputation, kind of a Sodom and Gomorrah reputation. Can anything good come from Magdala? Kind of thing. And so Mary going around saying, "I've seen the Lord risen, he's alive, just saw him at the tomb." And they're like, "Well, she's from Magdala." They don't ever tell the truth. But Jesus called her. Some people may have a problem with where we're from, but Jesus doesn't. Third strike against Mary Magdalene as being a reliable witness, and this may be the most devastating strike, was that she at one time had 7 demons possessing her. Jesus cast them out. And so people may still think of her in that way and question her mental, emotional stability. Mary's going around saying, "I've seen the Lord. He's alive again. Just saw him at the tomb." And they're like, she's relapsed. But Jesus called her. Some people may have a problem with our background, our history, our story, but Jesus doesn't. What Jesus did here with Mary Magdalene was so gracious, trusting, empowering. Commissioned her to proclaim his resurrection to the others. And it's really what he does with all of us, which is pretty incredible. We hear this so often. We're to witness for Christ. We're to go and tell the good news. And we hear it so often and think about it so often that we kind of get dulled to it. But stop and think about that just for a moment here. That he's given us the responsibility to proclaim him alive and to tell the good news about him, salvation through him. God's Son, came here to save us every way we need to be saved. He taught us and showed us how to live God's way, suffered and died on the cross, and was brought back to life on the third day, so that everyone who believes in him will live, will know eternal life. And he trusts us, empowers us to go and tell everybody the good news about salvation in him. What a responsibility. I mean, wow. In other words, he entrusts us, empowers us to help him save the world. Incredible. As I was thinking about this passage, Jesus' appearance with Mary Magdalene, and his calling of her, and Jesus calling of us, made me think of that Bill and Gloria Gaither song, Something Beautiful. And I like that song. Anybody familiar with that? Something beautiful, something good. All my confusion he understood. All I had to offer him was brokenness and strife, but he made something beautiful of my life. I want us to sing that this morning. I like it. I wanted to sing it, but I'm not going to sing it by myself. And so we're going to sing it through twice. It's just a short song, and Beth is going to play. And as we're singing this, think about Jesus' appearance to Mary, his commissioning of her, and his calling of us as well.